Hi, my name is James Shepard, and today I'm going to talk to you about the two extremes of successful salespeople, the two extremes of successful selling, really. And this is so interesting to me because I think that most salespeople fail because they've chosen this middle path and they don't seem to understand that making sales requires two extreme talents. And the more extreme you get with these two talents, the better. Nothing in the middle. And I want to explain what I mean by that. In order for you to really make a sale, you have to start with an extreme that I call the connection extreme, okay? The extreme connection. You've got to have the ability to walk into a merchant, disarm them, make them like you, make them trust you, and totally disarm them and then connect with them. And that's an extreme. When you walk into a business, you've got to understand you're not walking in there to quote unquote sell them. You're not walking in to pitch them. You are walking in to connect with them. That's the reason you're walking in. And you've got to think of ways that you can push your pitch to the limits of the extreme. What do I mean by this? I mean that when I walk in there, I don't walk in and say, "Hi, my name is James Shepard. I sell credit card processing services." That's not going to help me connect. No, people connect with people that are like them. So when I walk in and I'm trying to do the connection extreme, I am walking in saying things like, "Hi, my name is James Shepard. I'm a local business owner in the area. I love this shop. This is awesome. How long have you guys been here? Wow, you've been here for 5 years. Boy, that's great. You know, I'm really a little bit newer in the area and just have a business down the road here. And boy, this is just a great business. Now, how long, you said you've been here for 5 years. Tell me more about this. Why did you start this business?" See, that's the connection extreme. I'm not there to sell them. I'm there because I'm excited. I'm having a great day. I'm positive. I'm matching them. If I'm walking in talking to a 97-year-old man, I'm not going in saying, "Hi, my name is James Shepard. How you doing today? Great to see you. Boy, this is a wonderful shop you got here." No, I'm walking in saying, "Hi there. How are you doing today? Boy, it's just great to see you. Beautiful day outside, isn't it? How long have you been at this shop?" I'm slowing down. If I'm walking in and I see a guy busy, he's, yelling at his employees, he's doing his thing, and, he's just go, 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 then I'm walking in, "Hey, how you doing? My name is James Shepard. Just want to stop by and introduce myself. What's your name?" Why? Because I want to mirror, I want to connect. So that extreme connection comes from mirroring, it comes from disarming, it comes from thinking and preparing things that you can say that are going to allow you to connect with the merchant, right? Now, here's the trick. Some of you have that extreme, right? But you don't know how to switch gears to the other extreme, which is extreme focus. So extreme connection is over here. For some of you, that's your first visit. You connect, you gather a little bit of information, maybe get the statement, whatever it is, depending on your sales cycle. Of course, if you're using InstantQuoteTool.com with our free 30-day trial, there's my little infomercial, then you don't need to get the statement. So go to InstantQuoteTool.com and sign up. All right, I'm done with that. So now you have your connection extreme over here. So if you have that extreme connection ability, that's great, but you've got to be able to switch gears and do extreme focus. Now you say, "James, what's extreme focus?" There is a moment in the sales process, it's a tipping point you get to, where you realize that you are connected with them enough, you have gathered enough information that you now know that they should choose you as their service provider. There's a moment in time where you realize that. Very rarely, depending on what you're selling, very rarely you're going to have a moment where you realize you shouldn't sell them. It's happened to me quite a few times, I'm talking to them. I'll give you a good example of this. Somebody who has a coffee shop who is using the old Square system where they're paying 2.75% flat rate, and I know that the interchange on that's 5%. So I know Square's losing money on that deal. I don't want a money-losing deal. I find this out. I get to that tipping point, and my extreme focus tells me, move on to the next one, right? And I'm like, "Hey, let me explain how this works. You have a great deal, blah, 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 blah. Hope you have an awesome day," and I'm done. Now, of course, nowadays with their pricing changing, they've got per item fees and stuff. I wouldn't leave so easily, but back then, when it was all flat rate, that was pretty much a no-go, right? But see, when you get to the tipping point where you say, I know that this person should go with me and I know what the value proposition is. Now this goes back to my other videos I've done recently, Art of Closing the Sale, the one called Close, being prepared, value proposition, all that. So if you can get to that point in one deal, that's great, but you all of a sudden have an extreme focus, and your extreme focus is what we talked about in the Art of the One called Close, where you're on this highway. And boy, I'll tell you, you're just on this highway, you're just going, right? You're just moving forward and nobody's going to stop you, and there is no objection they can give you that's going to throw you off. I'll give you a great example of that. One of my favorite lines comes from a friend of mine, Josh Bryan, who may watch this video. Hi, Josh. A great line when people say, you know, I really want to think about it. He looks at him and says, well, let me ask you, what do you think about it? Such a great line. It's so simple. But you know what it does is it gets them, they kind of chuckle a little bit and they're like, well, you know, I just think it's maybe the savings aren't as much as I thought. Okay, well, let me do this. See, what he's doing is he's staying on the highway. That's that extreme focus that says there is nothing you can say to me that is going to get me out of focus. I am going to sell you because it's best for you, because it's valuable to you, because I'm going to service your account and I'm going to do an amazing job. And I am extremely focused on my objective, which is I'm going to close the sale, I'm going to write it up, I'm going to get the documents I need, and then I'm out of here and I'm going to sell you. And then I'm going to service your account like you've never seen before. See, that is true sales professionals. And those are the two extremes of selling. Extreme connection at the beginning. Very good at walking in, not talking about what you sell, not talking about you at all, talking about them, connecting, right? Extreme connection. And then that tipping point where you say, you know what, I'm realizing in my mind, now I know why you should buy from me. Switch, extreme focus, and I stay focused until I get a yes or a no. And if I get a no, I'm going to have to get a no about 15 times because I'm going to get a yes. That is how top salespeople make more money than you do.